This is Rock and Roll Grad School with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling. Would you like us to assign someone to worry your mother?
Hello, kitties. We are going to have a good time today because we are making tragedy happen.
Indeed, we are, in a very good way.
Did you know that's their URL?
Yes, I did.
Let's make tragedy happen. So clearly, Mean Girl fans.
Of course.
We're talking with the lead singer from, I guess we say heavy metal group, right?
Yeah.
Tragedy, best known for their covering of the Bee Gees' oeuvre.
Yes.
And other songs of that ilk. They have a new album that came out last week.
Covering in an unusual way.
As they always would. Some of the great women in rock. So, which is really lovely. That's a fun listen.
Showing that some of the greatest songs ever are actually metal songs, but
yeah, any song can be a metal song. And
metal song.
And one of the songs they cover is I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters, which was written by previous guest Sharon Robinson. Say it with me, Synergy.
Look at that.
So I finally got out to my first show in a few months on Friday.
Yes.
Oh my, this is what I needed.
Good.
This is what I needed, was just tambourine and songs about whiskey.
I mean,
and it was great.
That's fantastic.
Kurt Weill came out and they did a duet on That's the Way the World Goes Round, the John Prine song.
Very nice.
And then the opener was this guy, Trey Burt, who I had not heard of before, but he is one of the two artists that Prine signed to his label before passing.
Wow.
And the last song that he did, he said, I'm going to dedicate this to my boss. And everybody went nuts. But Margot Price was great. Jeremy was great. She sang a couple of his songs that he had written solo. Yeah. And the interaction between the two of them was just delightful to watch. Yes.
I mean, it was adorable the way he talked about her on our show.
Just seeing the way they looked at each other, and they've been on the roads for 6 months.
That's a rarity.
Well, even kind of, she did a little small acoustic set prior to the thing. And she did a great cover of I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen. Did a few of her songs, and then asked him to come on, and he played harmonica and duetted with her on a song that he had written. I guess it was based on a note he had written her at some point. And again, looking at the two of them, looking at each other, and he turned and walked off, and she said something like, I'm surprised he did that, or I'm surprised he even came down, because we were bickering with each other upstairs. So, but it was delightful. It was loud, and it was lovely.
All that it should be.
Exactly. Have you seen the reviews for this Lust for Life show that our friend Kevin Armstrong and our new friend Glenn Matlock have been playing on? Unbelievable.
Oh, good.
People love it.
That's awesome.
It's sold out every single show in the UK, and you got to go up to Scotland, I think, Edinburgh has a few tickets left. And I think it's Glenn keeps posting on his Twitter page and Instagram just little clips from different shows of them all doing now I Want to Be Your Dog, and it looks like every single person in that room is having the best time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So hopefully they'll bring some form of that to the US, because that would be a lot of fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
Why did you decide that you needed to pay tribute to the women in music with this new album?
Well, we've covered a lot of women artists in the past, and we're trying to come up with a theme for the new album, and thought this would be kind of something good to focus on. And the inspiration, there's just kind of regular musical inspiration, then there's deeper kind of I don't know, social, political, personal kind of inspiration too. And get to wrap it all up in one album.
It's a really enjoyable record. I played it for my children, as one does, and said to them sort of, here's proof that everything is a metal song deep down inside, that the emotions are right there. Is that something
It can be? I mean, that's our mission, is to find the inner metal in everything and everything we do.
Well, how did this idea come to you?
Well, the idea for Tragedy was originally a metal tribute to the Bee Gees and beyond.
Of course.
And so the first album was we covered all the Bee Gees disco hits. And that started as just, what some may say, incredibly stupid idea on paper. But we started doing it, we started working on it and bringing it to audiences. And we realized that it connected with us in a creative way, and then connected with audiences too. And, what started really as a joke, I mean, just we really thought it was just a silly thing that we do for a couple shows maybe. It's been 15 years and 10 albums later. And like I said, the first album was those disco hits of the Bee Gees, and then the second album we started to do some songs that they wrote for other artists, and then we started to tinker around with non-Bee Gees pen songs as well. So now it's kind of like anything is fair game, as long as it's not like a hard rock or metal song to start with. With one exception, we did a soft rock version of Crazy Train.
Just flip the script. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's right.
It's your power ballad right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. Like, it's so brilliant. It's such a, the whole concept is so brilliant. I argue it's clearly not a stupid idea. It's like the Bee Gees were speaking to you even from their font. It was meant to be metaled out.
I know. I mean, there's so many things that are metal about the Bee Gees, and I mean disco in general, but the Bee Gees even more so than other disco artists. But the big hair, the tight shiny clothes,
yes,
the high
semi-nudity, yes, the sex appeal sometimes that you just can't pinpoint, but you just know they're sexy. It's all there.
I know. And then to think that like there was that tension between the people who love disco and the people who loved rock and metal.
Right.
And they're just like one DNA strand apart.
Right. Thin line between love
We're
and
the
hate.
missing link.
You are. It's brilliant.
It's just how do you find the songs? Is there something in these particular tunes that just have that thing where you're like, we can really do something with this? Are you licking your chops with these tracks as you look ahead to the next records?
Well, so we usually end up working on about twice as many songs that will actually end up on the record. Mm-hmm. We're always looking for a song that has some kind of cultural relevance, like kind of a wow factor, like I can't believe Tragedy is doing, whatever it is. And like It's Raining Men is a great kind of example of that. So we look for that, and we're usually looking, because the original concept of the band was, kind of the 70s and 80s music. We usually look for stuff from that era. Sometimes we go outside that era. but yeah, to find something that already has some cultural relevance and interesting theme or something like that, that's great when we find it. But then we have to do a compelling take on it. And sometimes it's hard to do. One example, we on this record, we have I Will Survive, which we've wanted to do almost since the beginning of the band because it's just such an epic, meaningful song. But it's always eluded us because it's like so many disco songs. It's very repetitive. It's the same chord progression the whole way through. But what we ended up doing this time is we found a way to deconstruct it and put it back together in a way that keeps it very interesting. And I would say really enhances the storytelling of the song.
That's the thing I love about these records is that at first blush, oh, it's kind of funny. You're playing La Freak. Oh, this is entertaining. But like, never mind the skill that all of you have as musicians, but like that record needs to hold up to multiple listens. It can't just be one time through one joke and then you put it on the shelf and move away. That's got to be a challenge for you guys to strike that balance too.
That's really important for us. I mean, there's so much comedy music that it's fun to listen to. You have a laugh, but you would never like put it on like at a party or just kind of you wouldn't keep on listening to it.
Right.
And yeah, it's important to us to, I mean, we want to be really entertaining, and the live show especially, there's a lot of comedy in it. But we want it to be like not annoying to listen to. So much satirical music gets so annoying after a listen or two, or if you have it on in the background or something, you're like, that voice, enough already. So yeah, we really try to make really fun, engaging albums.
When you're heading out on tour.
Are we ever? Man, it's been 3 years since we went on a proper tour. We used to go to Europe twice a year. We're the last band standing, March 2020. But yeah, heading out in the US with Steel Panther and Crowbot for 6 weeks all over the country. And then we go to UK, Spain, France, Portugal for a month. So yeah, it's about to get crazy.
Have you been playing out at all like locally just to get your feet wet, or just going like balls to the wall, let's just do this?
Yeah, we I guess we started playing live again, I think it was July 2021, and been doing a lot of regional touring, weekend stuff. We went to Canada for a week last summer. So we've been active, but it's not like going on the road for weeks at a time.
It's gonna be awesome. We're very excited here in Detroit for your arrival at the Fillmore.
Awesome.
There's several people all set. We're ready to come and just rock out with you. So we can't wait.
That's great. We have a good time.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt. It's hard to do that though. Like it's hard to sustain that level of energy, just like you said, with keeping not having the kitsch take over the talent and all of those things and keeping that balance, but to keep it going on tour across the world it's a big deal too.
It is. But I find like once we get rolling, it becomes second nature. And even though it can be kind of exhausting on the road, when it's showtime. And it's always fun like that.
Are there any things you're most looking forward to that won't ruin it for audiences? Any big surprises you're ready to roll out?
I don't know about big surprises. Geez, I don't even think of our show like that necessarily. though sometimes I do. Here's the thing, like when we were touring, like we have a very good audience established in the UK, and we would do like an annual national tour there, and then go back in the summer and kind of do festivals and stuff like that. But we would kind of make a plan for like, oh, we got to make a, you know, real strong theme and have a different thing that's gonna you know, shock people. But now it's been so long, like haven't even thought of that. But I remember one time we did as an encore, we started playing Stairway to Heaven, and say to our audience in the UK, oh yeah, this is a song, I recognize it. It's a Beatles song, right? I love the Beatles. And then start singing Oasis over that chord progression.
Nice.
And really make them angry.
Yes.
Yeah. We got so many like fuck yous, and then by the end they're all singing along with it. You know, it's like, make up your mind. Nah, it's all right. We're with you.
It's not metal if the audience isn't antagonizing you either. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering about that, what the response is. If, I mean, I guess playing with folks like Steel Panther and stuff, like people know what they're getting when they come out and see Tragedy. What do Bee Gees fans make of this? Do they get the joke?
You know, if you watch a whole show, you get it. I think you know, maybe when we first started, we had some like more people coming in as Bee Gees fans, but you know, as the band continued, we just kind of became an entity unto ourselves. But we do get those people occasionally who didn't really do any research, didn't like, they bought a ticket and never went to our website or anything, and are a little, you know, surprised, and sometimes surprised that we're not doing all Bee Gees songs. That can be one thing. But you know, people get the idea, and people who may reject it at first, they come around. There's something to, you know, that's just going to break down the barriers in your soul and make you have a good time.
Have any of the original artists heard your takes on them? Because I know you have a great quote from Bruce Dickinson saying how much he loves you guys.
Yeah.
But what do the, you know, the brothers Gibb at all make of brother Gibb at all make of your interpretations?
Well, they haven't contacted us directly themselves, but their children have. And it started actually close to the beginning of the band. I think when our first record came out, they heard about us and they just love it. And throughout the years, still in touch with some of them. Barry's son, Steve, is a metalhead and a metal guitarist, great guitar player. And they, you know, Samantha, they're a musical family. So that's really cool to have that connection, you know, that they take it in the right spirit, and really appreciate it. Also, Village people have, we do YMCA, and
as you do,
of course.
Yeah. And they know us as well and support us too.
So would you describe it as you started a joke?
You could definitely say that.
Perfect. Got it in.
You were just waiting, trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I know. When you were a kid, what did you dream you were going to be rocking out to?
Well, very first thing, I loved the way Kiss looked.
Of course.
I think when I was maybe 4 or 5 years old, I made an electric guitar out of cardboard, and I thought of myself as all the members of Kiss all at once, I think.
Of course, yes.
And then when I was 9 years old, I got really into music of the 50s, and I started collecting 45s. I go to garage sales like obsessively. And I had books, studying the charts for the top music, the 50s and all that. And then when I started playing guitar, I got really into punk rock and that whole scene. And I really like kind of the artsy side of punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was constantly rebelling against whatever I was into before and whatever my friends were into. So I got really into classic rock when punk rock was really rebelling against classic rock. And even metal was like, especially like hair metal, when that was really popular, like, punk rockers were really rejecting it. And I was secretly buying some Motley Crue albums and stuff like that. Though there was also cool metal happening that, that was acceptable in my peer group, like, Iron Maiden, even Judas Priest, and then the kind of the hardcore metal stuff like Metallica and stuff like that was all very cool and acceptable. But like so many people who love music, even if we really identify with a certain group of you consider yourself a metalhead or punk rocker or something like that, we all love all kinds of music from all over the place. And this band really brings people out, and they'd say it out loud, like, like these metalheads, like, I always loved the Bee Gees. Never told anybody that.
Right.
I love the Bee Gees.
Well, I just saw like it was a clip of Dave Grohl talking about the fact that every rhythm part on Nevermind he nicked from, was it Gap Band, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
right.
And then it's so amazing, and he's right on. It's completely like it's very interesting to see kind of those walls break down, and that kind of like you said, it's just a giant melting pot of what's all music. It's all something good happening there.
And when you're learning how to play music, all that stuff is just, all the stuff you remember from your earliest existence, it's just there in your brain, and then you put it together yourself, and you're automatically going to be influenced by things from all over the place.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Is there anything, again, not to give away the secrets to the store, but is there any song you're really looking forward to getting out there and belting every night that's new to the set list, that's from the record? Or
well, I'd love to play them all. But we're at the point where we have to have 5 or 6 songs in the set. They're just, just staples of our show. We have to have Staying Alive, have to have It's Raining Men, stuff like that. A lot of the stuff we haven't tried live yet. Pretty much, I mean, almost all of the album we haven't tried live yet. But I'm so excited, in the rehearsal studio has been super fun.
It's such a good tune.
It's so like it's so thrashy.
Yes.
But then we have like huge 4-part harmonies on the choruses. And yeah, that's just always, it's really fun when we all get on the mic and do a big harmony part. That's one of our favorite things.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was just rocking out to that before we jumped on, like doing my little last minutes, and it's so good. It's so good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Is there anything in the back of your mind as far as like what you're hoping to do next? Or just not quite there
we've
yet?
talked about like our next album concept. We've had it, so on this album we do Memory from Cats.
Sure.
And it's absolutely epic.
Amazing.
And we thought, so we did an album before called Tragedy Goes to the Movies, so songs that were famously in movies. And so we had the idea of Tragedy Goes to Broadway, or Tragedy Goes to
God.
the Theater. And as much, and we've done, there are some other songs too, I think we've done that were, on Broadway. Yeah, like Aquarius.
Mhm.
And always thought that could be kind of a cool concept.
Oh.
But I got to say, none of our fans are like, oh man, you got to do a Broadway.
Oh no,
album."
I am so on board with this. This is like, I'm already hearing Phantom of the Opera, just
Yeah.
like off.
We would love to. I
Unreal.
mean, I would do the whole Jesus Christ Superstar
Oh,
album.
well,
that'd be
clearly.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
mean, yes.
Though that could go against our vow of not doing songs that are hard rock to begin with.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So maybe you have to.
Only do the soft ones.
I was gonna say,
Right.
I don't know how
Just
to love
I don't know how to
him.
love
Right.
him as like
Yeah.
a home sweet home kind of power ballad.
Yes.
But
There you go.
what if you think of what you could dig out from like Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat? You could just
Oh,
go
wow.
crazy.
Yeah,
Just go
yeah.
way back. You could
Penny
just do a
Dream will
Lloyd,
do.
just
Yeah.
do a Lloyd Webber. and
Yeah,
really
yeah.
narrow it. No, I think Broadway would be pretty awesome, especially those like sweeping operatic, but not the rock opera operatic, just the more.
Right.
That's amazing.
God is on the mountain top, burning like a silver flame. The summit of beauty and love, and Venus was her name. She's got it.
Tragedy's new album, I Am Woman, is available right now wherever you get your records. For more information and for tour dates, check out their website, letsmaketragedyhappen.com.
Rock and Roll Grad School is produced by the Professional Production Company. Please be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, because your impassioned review is just as honest as us standing backstage waiting to come back on for the encore. For more information, you can check out our website, rockandrollgradschool.com. And like everyone else, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Today's show was recorded and produced by Heidi Hegquist and myself from our world headquarters located on the second floor of the professional office building, centrally located downtown. Our reluctant executive producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing executive producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Good night, drive safe, and may all your favorite bands stay together.
Your